The city of Susa, once bustling with life and color, now sat under a cloud of confusion and grief. Across the vast Persian Empire, a devastating decree from King Xerxes had been issued, one that shook every Jewish household to its core. The order called for the destruction of all Jews, young and old, men and women, on a single appointed day. The news spread like wildfire, igniting fear wherever it went. In every town and province, despair settled over the people. Streets once filled with laughter, now echoed with sorrow. Mothers held their children close, their eyes wide with worry. Fathers stared into the heavens, pleading for mercy and deliverance. Children sensed the tension even without fully understanding it. Fear had found a home in every heart. And there, near the palace gates, sat Mordecai, draped in sackcloth and ashes. Mordecai had always been a pillar of strength and quiet dignity, but now that strength gave way to heartbreak. He tore his garments in anguish and wore the coarse cloth of mourning. Covered in ashes, he cried out loudly in the streets, his voice heavy with sorrow and desperation. Everywhere the king's edict had been read, similar scenes unfolded. The Jewish people wept and fasted. No food touched their lips. They lay on the ground in sackcloth, mourning their fate. Joy had vanished, replaced by a deep, aching sorrow. Inside the palace, Queen Esther received word of Mordecai's mourning. Concerned, she immediately sent clothes to him, hoping he would remove the sackcloth. But he refused. He could not dress in comfort while his people faced destruction. Puzzled and deeply troubled, Esther sent one of her trusted servants, a eunuch named Hathach, to find out what had happened. Mordecai explained everything to Hathach. He revealed the full extent of Haman's wicked plan, the bribe he offered the king to secure the decree, and the copy of the edict itself. He sent it to Esther, urging her to read it and understand the gravity of the situation.
"Go to the king," he said through Hathach. "Intercede for your people. Beg him for mercy." Esther was struck with fear. She understood the laws of the land. No one, not even the queen, was allowed to approach the king uninvited. To do so meant almost certain death, unless the king extended his golden scepter. She sent her reply to Mordecai. "Everyone knows the law. If anyone enters the king's inner court without being summoned, they must die. The only exception is if the king holds out his golden scepter. I have not been summoned for 30 days." Her message, though honest, revealed a deep dilemma. She was caught between fear and faith, comfort and calling. Left alone in her chambers, Esther's thoughts swirled like a storm. She thought of the risk, of the law, of the unpredictability of the king. What if he didn't want to see her? What if he was angry? What if she died before even speaking a word? She also thought of Mordecai, the man who had raised her, loved her, and guided her like a father. She thought of the people filling the streets in sorrow. She remembered the frightened children and the trembling prayers of their parents. And then there was her secret. No one in the palace knew she was a Jew. She could hide. She could remain silent, keep her position, and stay safe. But a question stirred in her heart. Could I truly live in safety while my people perish? Hathach returned to Mordecai with Esther's answer, but Mordecai would not be deterred. He responded with words that would go on to inspire generations. "Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. If you remain silent at this time, deliverance will come for the Jews from another place, that you and your family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?"
These were not just words of encouragement. They were a challenge, a call to rise above fear, a reminder that God often places people in specific positions for a divine purpose. Esther read his message slowly, each sentence pressing on her heart. For such a time as this. Could it be that she was chosen not for luxury, but for bravery? After days of wrestling with her fear, Esther sent her final message to Mordecai. "Gather all the Jews in Susa. Fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days and nights. I and my attendants will do the same. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish." These were words of deep courage. Esther had chosen to risk everything, her position, her comfort, even her life, for the sake of her people. When Mordecai received her message, his heart swelled with emotion. He saw in Esther the strength of a leader, the heart of a warrior, and the faith of someone who trusted fully in God. Children, sometimes we face moments that feel scary or uncertain. Maybe it's standing up for a friend, telling the truth, or doing the right thing when it's not easy. Esther had a choice. She could have stayed quiet and safe, but she didn't. She chose to speak up. She chose courage. And just like Esther, you are here for a reason. God has a special purpose for your life too. You may not always know what it is right away, but you can trust that He is working through you. Remember, being brave doesn't mean you aren't afraid. It means doing what's right, even when you are afraid. So tonight, as you lay your head down to sleep, remember the powerful words spoken by Esther. "If I perish, I perish." She was willing to give everything to help others. She trusted that God was with her, even in the scariest moments. And remember Mordecai's wisdom. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Say this quiet prayer. Lord, give me courage like Esther. Help me trust that you have placed me here for a purpose. Even when I'm scared, remind me that you are always with me. Now rest, little one. Just as God guided Esther, He is guiding you. His love surrounds you, and His hand is on your life. Good night. Sleep in the pace of God's love.